What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you guys doing on this awesome Friday? Welcome to another exciting episode of Nostalgic Videos. Of course, you know, this is the show where I review movies that absolutely made my childhood and accidentally destroyed them without my knowledge. Red Dead Redemption 2 in one hand, California Raspberry Coca-Cola in the other. What can make a man happy, right? Well, to be honest, being able to prove the fact that Bigfoot exists would be nice. Wait a minute. Turns out he was me all along. Who knew my mom and dad had something to do with the invention of Sasquatch? I digress. So, as you all know, last time I talked about Spy Kids that came out in 2001, directed and produced by Ricardo Rodriguez. I think that's who directed it. I've got my notes right there, so I'm about to pop them up. So, to get this review started, let's pop open our California Raspberry Soda and venture to the island of Lost Dreams. That's good stuff. Story time. Okay, so as you know, Spy Kids was the movie about two spy kids, named Carmen and Junie, brother and sister, who were eventually able to make a name for themselves by becoming the very first ever Spy Kids. We just saw the first movie and the first review. There's no way that this video is a couple weeks late. So, Ricardo Rodriguez was able to go full swing into what he wanted with Island of Lost Dreams. And you can tell that a lot of work really did get put into making this movie because the actors, Alexa and Daryl, come back and they're able to go full swing into their own by making the characters grow. We, of course, get once again new arcs for our characters. Like, we have this arc of Carmen who's, wanting to be given more serious missions instead of rinky-dink assignments, as she so amazingly states in the first part of the movie, after they save the president's daughter, who I have no idea who she is played by, but they changed the president once again. He is played by Philip from Flubber. I do not remember the actor's name, but Goose McKenzie. There we go. Goose McKenzie, otherwise known as Shooter McGavin, the one who basically got beat up by a guy in a parking lot at 3 o'clock. That new Happy Gilmore. So yes, he plays the president. I wish George Clooney was president in this one. But nevertheless, we get a very interesting way of how the characters are introduced by not George Clooney's daughter, because of where she goes to this theme park, which, by the way, I want my own theme park. And once again, the movie actually starts in an interesting way by actually having the troublemaker person actually in a roller coaster that sets the beginning of the movie, setting the tone that things are going to be a little rocky and crazy. I liked that. I thought it was a very interesting way, once again, to start the film. And, we have Hudson, and I swear I hate that I cannot remember these actors' names, but Hudson from Aliens, just so any of you know, plays this character named Dixter, or Dixon, but he calls himself, or the Dinkster. He calls himself the Dinkster. And he has this troublemaker theme park. And all the rides are very interesting and different. And I'm just thinking, I want my own amusement park. That'd be very nice. Can you all imagine a Nick Smith amusement park? Of course, they would all probably be rides designed of what goes inside my head. And even I don't want to know what goes on inside my head, let alone you guys. I'm not going to make you all go through that. Oh, shoot. Heck, I don't even want to go through that. But anyways, so we get actually a very interesting new types of gadgets, and that's another thing. They expanded on the gadgets and how they get new gadgets like every once a year. It's like the newest cell phone. You go from sunglasses, just regular sunglasses that have spy tech in them, to sunglasses with multiple sunglasses in the sunglasses, which was a very interesting way of also introducing two new characters, Gary and Gertie Giggles, who are actually the children of Donegan, who are basically the backups for Carmen and Junie, not Carmen and Judy. That would be an interesting dynamic. But anyways, so we see as they're trying to do this mission of saving the president's daughter, we see these cool little Spider-Man gadgets, which they're only magnetic. I want all of these gadgets, and trust me, there was one particular gadget in this film I do want. Ralph. I want a Ralph. And once again, we get an interesting dynamic with Junie, who is basically trying to prove, once again, that he is a good spy, but he keeps getting one-upped by Gary Giggles, who is basically kind of, trying to do anything he can to put Junie down and take all the spotlight for himself to be better than him. And every single chance he gets, he always does it. Whereas I thought there was a rivalry between Carmen and Gertie, but there really wasn't. It kind of seemed like that's what they were doing, but not really. It was more between Junie and Gary, and Junie trying to basically, find his place in the world, finding his place in the realm of the spies. And there's a little hint that eventually Junie is going to leave the OSS even earlier than I honestly thought, and it was an interesting way of doing things. We get the mom and dad once again, and we get a little interesting dynamic of how basically Carmen is a little bit smarter than her mom by being able to hack into the Pentagon. They gave Carmen a hacker kind of thing, but it's not really too much expanded on, but it is really cool. And we get this little gag with Machete, who only makes like a small brief cameo, and giving them their new gadgets, which were also the McDonald's toys. Now, like I said, the McDonald's toys in the first one were okay, but this was where they truly shine. Now, if any of you who are watching this watched the Inspector Gadget movie back like in maybe 1999 or 2000, when McDonald's did toys from that movie, they basically made it to where you could combine all of the toys together to make a big gadget. From his body being a cell phone, to his legs being like a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, to a light. His arm was a French fry grabber, and his other arm was a squirt gun. His hat was the spinner thing, and his other body was like a machine sound-making thing, and his belt was a watch. Whereas with the McDonald's toys for Spy Kids 2, you put them all together and you could make your own Ralph. I had the watch, which couldn't tell time, although mine could for some reason. I guess I had a better version. Sorry, guys. But, I don't remember, I never got all the other ones, but they made all of the toys interesting, and I love that they did that. It was so cool. And like I said, I want my own Ralph. It's this little tiny bot that Junie has that basically is able to run errands for him and stuff like that, like tying his bow tie or do spy missions. A spy mission for a spy gadget. That's interesting. But basically we have, Carmen and Junie being outshined by the Giggles. That's so odd saying that because their laugh is a giggle. I'm never going to do that again. But, you have Carmen and Junie, basically wanting to prove themselves that they are capable of being able to do these big spy missions instead of doing this little thing. And the fact of the matter is, they did a magnificent job of expanding on the Spy Kids initiative, the Spy Kids program. It has actually become a program where you can get levels, and it was just really interesting to see how far into this world Ricardo Rodriguez went. And even being able to bring us a new crazy scientist named Romero, who made his own miniature zoos, which that is awesome. But he says in the movie, there was one time I was working on this experiment and I accidentally mixed 2 test tubes all together. I'm like, bro, you are literally looking at these 2 test tubes like you're about to cause some crap. Don't lie to us. Don't lie to the children. And so he is eventually able to make the creatures, all these mixed species, and it's a cute joke of like, he's mixing species that are already kind of a thing. So a spider monkey, it is literally the combination of a spider's butt and a monkey's top. Put them together, boom, you got a spider monkey. Or you get a bullfrog that's half bull, half frog. You get a catfish, which is literally a fish walking on all 4s. Stuff like that, it was hilarious. And, you get this really mysterious island, which is known as the Island of Lost Dreams. Although I really don't know why it is called the Island of Lost Dreams, because it really doesn't ever mention anything about Lost Dreams. Of course, though, there is a scene in the movie where Junie actually did draw a creature that actually does end up being on the island, but that, I guess, was just luck. I think it would have been a little cooler if maybe it literally was an island of lost dreams, if anyone who had dreams that they left behind, they appeared on the island. But they really didn't go full force with that, and I wish that they had. We find out who the villain is. Apparently, Donegan tried taking over the world once before. Trust me, we'll get into his punishment at the very end of the film. And who doesn't love a sequel without some difficulties with the in-laws? That's right, we get Ingrid's parents, who the dad is played by Khan, and the mother is played by George of the Jungle's mother-in-law. So she's playing another mother-in-law. Same character. Except she's... No, she's still the same character. But overall, everyone is having a blast making this film. You can tell the effects. Once again, Ricardo Rodriguez does a really good job of being able to combine practical and CGI, and only using CGI when necessary. Although, when it comes to certain fights, the CGI looks terrible. But, other than that, all the arcs are resolved with Junie coming into his own, deciding it's a good idea for him to leave the OSS, Carmen realizing that the guy that she liked was a bit of a douche, and that is just putting it nicely. Gertie going to the good side. Maybe she was flopping back and forth, you know, like we kind of get a dynamic of Carmen being like, so even if your dad is behind this, are you still going to be able to do what's right? And, you know, her being like, how can you ever tell what's right? And that was a really interesting dynamic and a little bit of character development for Gertie, whereas Gary is full-flown, my dad has plans for the world, like it or not. I'm going to be evil. Wait, Dad, you're actually going to kill the girl I like? Okay, maybe I need to go back to the good side. Guys, what did you think of Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams? This probably could have been maybe an end for the series. Maybe, but we did get a third and a fourth film, although I'm not going to talk about the fourth film for a while. Who knows? But guys, put in the comments below, what did you think about Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams? Did you think it was a good sequel? Did you think it was a good movie? I really want to know. I hope you guys are getting ready for Christmas. I am. I mean, heck, it's Christmas. Who isn't ready, right? Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Put in the comments below, what else would you like to see me tackle for nostalgic videos? Do you think it's time I actually attacked a movie that destroyed my knowledge? Wait, I already did that. It's called Power Rangers, a Turbo movie. You should look that up. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you next time. What are on these discs? I wonder if this has anything to do with Umbrella. Have a good day, guys.